Literally, he's calling out people for what he does with his entire channel.
Have you considered blocking someone you don't like instead of throwing a public tantrum for attention?
Once again, the topic of Lolicon has returned to the VTuber scene. For those that are unaware, there has been a recent development with a certain lolly VTuber, and it turns out a lot of people had mutuals with this, had mutuals with this person. You go have a good time at work. The video will be out later when you want to check it out. Basically, a lot of people, or it started with a simple call out of, hey, this person puts out disgusting content. If you follow them, block me, kind of thing. And personally, I don't care about mutual following problematic person. I think there's more important things to focus on than who people are following. My big problem with lolly VTubers is kind of the people who ardently defend Lolicon and Shotacon, just like up in arms always. They just happen to also have imagery that kind of reminds me of 1940s Germany for some reason. They tend to have symbols in their names that just happen to look like symbols from that time in history. It's a crossover that I get confused by, but we're not primarily talking about the people defending that right now. We're going to be talking about a specific lolly artist and VTuber that has recently been made more aware of. And unfortunately, a side product of the attempt to cancel, so to speak, drew a bunch of eyes to her platform. So it kind of like helped her platform or it helped consolidate more of the lolly enjoyers into them. But I don't think it did too much for their like actual content. I think it helped their Twitter, but not really anything outside of that. Anyways, we're going to listen to a adult man using a child avatar talk about people with child avatars. If you have never watched Rev Says Desu before, I am sorry.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here.
Hey,
so
Rev.
Currently there is a very vile situation taking place in the VTubing scene.
Yeah, it's called The Biggest Commentators Are Problematic.
Another round of harassment campaigns have been launched against a VTuber, and there's a lot of important stuff to go over today in this video, so buckle in because it's a pretty wild ride. So the focus of today's video is going to be a lolly VTuber named Honey. Unfortunately, Honey has been the subject of multiple harassment campaigns and call-out posts made by not only Twitter users, but mainly by her own peers in the VTubing scene. Now,
what? Like, it's a lot of people on Twitter being mad that she's using, well, the design she's using, the characteristics she's going with. Kind of pretty sus to have. We'll get into it.
These posts direct their followers to not only slander and harass Honey, but also to report and deplatform them in the process. Now, you might be thinking, why is it so normalized, and why are all these VTubers feeling so free to make these really just aggressive call-out posts? Well, I think it has a lot to do with some...
The biggest thing was she had an already established account and then rebranded. Oh, I'm going to get into that because I looked into her account. I don't fully buy the didn't know because she rebranded. She was using an adult looking avatar as late or as recently as February slash March of this year, and then fully went with the lolly avatar. What's this about spooky? Oh, spook used to be used regularly as a slur against black people in America. Penguin face, bunny VTuber. Yeah, I don't get it. But Rev here likes to push back against like anything progressive without really engaging with it. Sorry, your opinion here. Oh, you're totally fine. For the most part, I honestly think the people engaging in my chat are asking questions in good faith, so I'm willing to actually answer them in good faith. I completely understand that there's a big likelihood that people not know exactly the history of the word spook or whatever. And like, I guess it's kind of important to be aware of it, but I don't think putting like spooky in your name has any issue. At least not these days, for sure.
Some situations happening over the past couple of days. 2 days ago, I made a video about this tweet and tweets like it, where apparently now you can't see the term spooky anymore, and there's a lot of VTubers who took this opportunity to threaten to block or cancel people if they use the term spooky during the Halloween season. Eventually,
yeah, there's a lot of people that I call puritanical progressives. The more derogatory term towards them would be woke scolds. It's essentially people that are arguing for progressive causes, but they require you to be in complete lockstep and agree with them on every single point, or you're part of the problem. I have had people that have basically trying to shun me from the left, essentially, because I didn't agree on every single progressive take they had. I had disagreements of how we can properly make leftist advocacy. But then there's people who but then there's these people that just, they don't want any sort of flaw or problematic trait in the people that get bigger. Essentially, they scrutinize the bigger people harder and harder. It is problematic to be like, specifically like this person, I don't even know who they are, don't use the word spook or spooky. Like, yes, it does have that history of being a slur, but nobody these days is using it as one. I wish one of the puritanical progressives tried being a government official. Yeah, I know. It would help if they had that kind of experience to learn more about the universe, the world, how it works. Considering the term is old racist term, you got to be really racist if you spook in that way. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be real. I don't think anybody that uses the word spook at all these days use it as, like, knowingly as a slur, knowing its history. I think people are just wanting to say it or use it because, you know, it's October, it's Halloween time, things are getting spooky. Unfortunately, it's a lot of, you know, white people talking on behalf of other people. It's like, no term. Shut up. People are definitely using it as a slur, and you can tell when they are, and they're normally over 85. Yeah, like the people that actually tend to still use that word are like, they're either really, really old, or they're really, really young and trying to find new ways to be edgy. But like, most of the time when they are actually using it as a slur, they're showing how dumb they actually are.
spooky anymore, and there's a lot of VTubers who took this opportunity to threaten to block or cancel people if they use the term spooky during the Halloween season. Eventually, we saw this post that was directly calling for the deplatforming of a YouTuber who called out some of these posts and made fun of them for being outraged over the term.
I can understand the call to deplatform VTuber Cringe. I don't think he's a very good person. I don't think he puts out very intelligent takes. I think all he really does is, highlight harassment. At least that's kind of what the vibe of the videos of his I've gone over. This Kudaloo person, I've heard their name before, but I don't I don't quite remember them. I think I might have engaged once or twice. That person seems like a Twitter woke squad. Yeah, I just prefer the term puritanical progressive. Peepees. The peepees are mad. That's fun to say. Say that. So, years of reports on how VTuber Cringe is harassing many vulnerable people and dehumanizing them constantly in videos. I mean, yeah, the first video of cringies that I saw was a hit piece against a leftist VTuber named Vivi-chan, and I kind of found out about her because of that, and now I'm loosely positive acquaintances, I'll go with. I like her. She's a lot of fun. I've been on her stream a few times. I gotta get her on this stream. There's also been like 0 likes, less than 2,000 views. This is platforming. Yeah, like a lot of the time, Rev will say there's a broader harassment campaign, and then like 100 views at most, or the top tweet, the one that gets the most engagement, and then like his own tweet, if you can't see it down here, 2,500 likes. And it's like, this Kudaloo person is the one engaging in the broader harassment campaign because they put out a Twitter essay of why they don't like VTuber Cringe.
The term spooky. And I think seeing this post get a lot of support, people saw this and said, hey, I'm going to make my own call out post for clout. And that's exactly what they did.
I saw him going after a black VTuber just for asking for more darker skinned VTubers and corporate VTubers. That tracks. And hey, we're on to this part.
Now, the tweet that would get attacked on Honey's account is their pinned tweet right here. You can see the finger gesture, and a lot of people might see this and get uncomfortable because it's a lolly VTuber model. And that is totally fine. You don't have to like any of these things, but there's only one mature response to coming across something online that you don't like, and that is to...
Is it to block them? Or is it to throw a public tantrum in like your video you're making right now? Oh, that head is so big. I know, it's fucking great. Yeah, Becca, I said I was going to cover it. I know you don't like me doing it, but I got to engage. I feel the need to shit talk these people.
To either block or mute them, and then move on with your life and focus on your own content. Unfortunately, a lot of VTubers don't do that method, and instead make these ridiculous call-out posts.
Or these ridiculous videos highlighting the tweets that get less engagement, as you can see. It gets less engagement than the actual tweet itself. It's not a literal baby, but it's like a 6-year-old depiction of a 6-year-old.
So this is the main post that we're going to talk about. It's by a VTuber named Ray. They say, if you're my moot with this person, kindly block me. I don't support pedo behavior. That model is a literal child and they're pinned. And if you support that, you're a vile human being.
I don't personally think there's anything wrong with that particular tweet. I do think it is pedo behavior to, be an adult and then characterize yourself the way you want to show yourself to others is like a 6-year-old or younger, like kindergarten age as an adult, and then go on with making sexual jokes. Now, I will differentiate because like I have a problem with this depiction. I have less of a problem with people like Chibidoki making the jokes that I've seen her make, or actually Vivi-chan. She's a petite model. Don't call her a lolly, you'll piss her the fuck off. But she's also a petite and then makes those jokes. But the thing is, when Chibidoki or Vivi-chan have made those jokes, they've been very explicitly, you can tell they're making a cringe, weird joke. Like, I'll show you my feet, and then all they do is turn their model upside down, and that's it. Or they'll, but they don't do, like, the more towing the line of, can you tell if they're joking or not? Rev feeds the mainstream masses the cringe that is too niche for the VTuber frogs. Or the YouTube frogs. What? I still think a lot of VTubers need to accept/stop being in denial that they're courting a particular audience, whether they want to use that lolly label or not. I mean, in Vivi-chan's case, that's literally her body type. I can't really shame her for wanting to portray her own body type. So, like, I hate how much nuance there actually gets added when you add in VTubers to it.
So in this completely unnecessary call-out post, they're calling Honey a vile human being. They're insinuating
Yes, that's what they're doing.
that they're a pedophile, and then they're saying that they're a literal child. And of course, they have this little attached part at the beginning. We'll see this a lot in the video, basically giving an ultimatum to their mutuals, saying if you continue following this person, I'm gonna block you, and things like that. It's absolutely crazy. But this
Chibidoki, Vivi-chan, Gargura, Taya. There's actually quite a few. There are a handful like Rev, but like, let's be real, Rev doesn't actually properly want to be a VTuber. Also, in the case of Honey, this is not her body type. She has posted cosplay pictures before. I've seen them. I've seen her face. This is not her body type. This is how she wants to look. Wonder why they're calling her a vile human being. Huh, yeah, it's almost like the sexualization of what clearly appears to be a 6-year-old gets people mad. I wonder why.
This is the person who is launching the main harassment campaign. You can see a lot of interactions with this post, almost 400 quotes, and it's targeting Honey. So let's just get this.
Targeting Honey in the point of a screenshot. It wasn't a direct quote tweet, so like, let's just ignore that part too.
This out of the way now. We know the theme of this video. There's gonna be a lot of this. Your likes are public, and let's start with the person who made this post named Ray. Of course, they have a bunch of underage characters in LOL.
Rev, you've made the argument that lolly is about body type and not age. Why the fuck are you bringing up a picture of Yoko Littner? And also, where is the actual hentai of this? What's wrong with liking cute pictures but not wanting to see sexualizations of those people? Like, come on, let's not be a dipshit grifter for once.
Lolly characters in their likes. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. But it's funny to see this happen.
Wait, how is she a lolly? I thought she was a little more developed. I can't remember. I would classify Rebecca as a petite, not a lolly, mostly because of her actual body type. Looks like it's developed, but still petite. Only one of those characters is a lolly from the look of things. Yeah, like this one right here. Isn't that like the only real petite body type here? Well, I guess Rebecca too. But, you know, Rebecca acts like an adult from what I remember.
And so many people blindly support this post because they're itching for any opportunity to dunk on a lolly VTuber. But let's look at some of the reactions to this situation. And I want to start off with this tweet because it really just captures everything. It captures all of the outrage in the situation. So a VTuber said, really disappointing to see I have a ton of mutuals following this person, referring to Honey.
Wait, why did you censor C? And why are you virtue signaling by hiding their name but not Raygat's name or Raygat's name? Raygat's the one that went private because after this fucking video came out, or at least after Rev started engaging with them, and you know Rev's community of people who just happen to like childlike characters and who just happen to make a lot of the same jokes and stuff that Nazis make, started engaging with them. So like, just saying, what is up with this?
I can't stand VTubers that look like literal children and sexualize themselves, catering to the pedo community.
Ads? I don't have ads. What the fuck? Oh, wait, for AdSense? No, but I see a ton of mutuals following this person. That's not sex or anything. And then he brands as one person as the entire VTuber community. Yeah, it's like what a lot of these reactionary people like to do. They will find sensational segments or points to point to, and then ascribe those traits to the entire broader group that they're pushing back against. So like every single anti-lolicon now has to stand in lockstep with this, and it's like, no, we don't. I personally don't care that I have I'm gonna say around 100 mutuals that follow her, but I also don't care about follow policing the people I follow. I mean, he's censoring the mild swears so he can keep his ads. I guess so. Yeah, probably.
It's disgusting. If you follow her, please unfollow me. So
oh yeah, plus this overall this is like so harassment baity. This is so directly saying go call her that. It will be a natural implication of that some people will follow along with, but like that's not the sentiment that these people have been expressing. They've been expressing that this shit makes me uncomfortable, and if you're comfortable with it, I'm not comfortable with you. That's kind of what they're doing. And like, well, these kinds of tweets don't get as much traction if you're just randomly posting it into the void, but when there's a time of a big call out kind of thing where it gets a lot of traction, yeah, it's kind of relevant to refer to what you're actually pushing back against.
Again, they're insinuating that Honey is a predator and saying all these things and telling people to unfollow this VTuber and unfollow them.
Rev, don't conflate predator and pedophile. There is a difference between a person who preys on children and somebody who is just attracted to children. An attraction doesn't mean you're directly going to follow through on it. For someone who doesn't like the watering down of the word pedophile, you seem to do it a lot.
All these things. And I chose this one to start off with because it is deleted. And this is their response to deleting this tweet. After harassing Honey, they say, deleted that post about the lolly VTuber. I didn't expect it to blow up like that. If you don't align with my views, just don't follow me and please leave me alone. I don't want any drama. I don't want any drama when I make a drama-filled call-out post on someone that I could have simply blocked and move on. I mean, look at this line right here.
Rev, you could have simply blocked and move on, yet here you are shit-talking somebody to your 600,000 followers. Your 600,000 subscribers.
If you don't align with my views, just don't follow me and please leave me alone. Jeez, wouldn't that be great if you did the same thing for Honey, who did absolutely nothing to you, by the way? You could have just blocked and moved on. But
wouldn't that be so great if you did that too, Rev? To somebody that hasn't done anything to you except shit talk the kind of art you more than likely beat off to? Come on, Rev. Seriously, this is why I don't like watching his videos. He just makes me angry.
Instead, you contributed to the harassment campaign, and then when you get criticism for that, all of a sudden you're like, oh, please leave me alone. It's completely ridiculous. But let's move on to another person joining in on the harassment campaign. This individual said, why would you make
He makes you angry, lol. Yeah, like I'm better at hiding my anger and dealing with it than a lot of people, but I don't fucking like this guy. There's a reason I haven't gone over his video in like months. I wonder if he's actually going to say that this character does not actually look like a child, like he did with Judy Hopps and or not Judy Hopps, yeah, with Judy Hopps in like a previous video where he said there was no difference, and it's like, wow, bro. I wonder how many playgrounds he isn't allowed within 100 meters of. I would hope all of them.
A child-looking model do that. That's disgusting. And then down here someone said, and why not? People can do whatever the F they want to do. Where the VTuber in question said, was about to answer you properly, but I just realized your Twitter name was Roricon and you retweet CP.
Yeah, like Rev is a drama content creator. He will shit talk people and say, if you don't like people, just block them. But then his entire content is about drama about people he doesn't like. I do engage with a lot of drama videos about people I don't like, but I also try to make videos about people I do like. I can't remember if Rev actually does that, but like everything I've seen from him is, you know, shit talking the people he doesn't like.
Pedophilia is illegal. That's disgusting. Now, I have this sensor. These are my sensors, and there's pretty much not a pixel I can even show in this video, but they shared a picture of very lewd lolicon art, okay? Like actually getting...
I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't want to screenshot their shit posts to use against them, because like why would I want to save that to my phone? Especially because I'm Canadian, and fun fact, if you draw, I don't know what that word means. Like, given its context, I'm led to believe it's a reference to genitalia, but I don't really want to go into detail about it. It just seems very, 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 very cringe. What was I going to say? I can't remember.
You know, okay, all the way. And they just said that this is...
Right. In Canada, if like that honey VTuber, if I were to save a picture of their spicy post, like they haven't had any spicy posts, but let's say they did, and then I saved a picture to use against them, that could be counted against me, because like in Canada it's literally illegal to indulge in underage art, whether or not it's like of an actual person. If it's like depicting somebody underage, you can get arrested for that in Canada. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there have been at least some people that have actually been arrested over importing doujins of it.
Is CP, and it's illegal. And they just reposted an uncensored screenshot. And they go on to say like, oh, I censored it. They're referring to this right here. There's an option on Twitter to have like a warning on tweets you have to click to see in order
to flag your not safe for work stuff. Yeah, it's been importing that has been getting people arrested. Yeah, or like if you just happen to have it saved on your computer, like the majority of the time people aren't going to be busting in, breaking down your doors, FBI open up. But like if it does happen that they need to look at your computer for like something completely unrelated and then they find it, you are going to get prosecuted. Having lolly manga as their carry-ons, really? Like they didn't even try to import it through the mail, they just carried it onto a fucking plane?
to do that, and like right here you can see the hide option if I wanted to turn it back. But they think that makes it okay because they censored it, when in reality they didn't censor anything because the fully nude images are right there. So I got news for this person. If you actually believe this was CP, every single person that came across this tweet would be another count of distribution for you.
He does have the point there that if you do believe it's actual CP, that yeah, you are spreading it yourself by not censoring it yourself. But we just kind of have to take Rev's word for it that they didn't actually censor it, Because, like, how can he prove that they weren't censored unless he linked to it? But then he would be linking to not safe for work stuff directly on YouTube, which is a no-no. They probably thought it was legal because of all over Twitter. Quote tweeting a screenshot with a censor wouldn't be distribution. Yeah, but what Rev is saying was that this person didn't censor this. Rev is saying that they they distributed uncensored stuff. Like if literally this was what this person posted, but like we can't fucking find out. I wouldn't take Rev's word on it either. He does a lot of lying. That's why I don't go over his videos. It takes a long time for me to go over. We're 6 minutes in and I've been recording for half a goddamn hour.
That's how serious this stuff is. It's just mind-boggling, the hypocrisy. But they would go on to explain. So people would say, according to yourself, you just distributed this stuff. And they said, well, I'm not reposting them directly. I didn't post that to distribute it. I used a censor and I'm not in possession of that stuff. So I'm safe. And then
I used a censor and I'm not in possession of the stuff. Like, I mean, if you're reposting it, you are saving it to your computer, but like, I'm more likely to trust a rando on Twitter that's being talked about by Rev than Rev himself. I'm willing to bet that this person did censor because I just don't trust Rev. But like, if she did post, or if they did post the uncensored version, they're big time hypocrites, which is what Rev and his community seems to really love to point out. That your criticisms are invalid because you're a hypocrite. You shouldn't trust people that accuse people of pedophilia ever. Yeah, it's kind of like that's the argument he's making.
Down here saying, not reposting, just showing proof. Oh, I'm glad you're gathering proof. Let me just make this clear. You're not a detective. You're not a prosecutor. You're a Twitter.
Oh, I just realized he didn't censor their name right there. He cares so much about not unintentionally directing harassment to bad people or to people he doesn't like. Very cool, Rev. Very, very cool. I can't even tell if he's doing this live or not because, like, it looks like he is censoring everything before he even streams if he is doing these segments live. But it seems he missed something.
User.
Wait. No, he directly knew because he fucking just comment about it. Account suspended, it seems. That person he's talking about here.
Please stop doing stuff like this. If this was actual...
Oh, he doesn't always censor names? Yeah, no, he puts out the opinion of you shouldn't unintentionally direct harassment to people and like you should censor their names. That's a good thing. But when I was featured in a Rev video, I wasn't censored. I wasn't censored at all.
CP, you would be breaking the law in this situation. But moving on, we saw a lot of posts like this. So this individual saying, I got some mutuals following this thing. Please either unfollow her in the next few hours or I will simply be unfollowing you. Imagine being this terminally online and having such a main character syndrome that you think your followers and mutuals have notifications on for you.
Oh my god, imagine being this kind of person having a giant 600,000 platform and then using a 7-like tweet as part of a harassment campaign. It's dumb.
And will be checking your Twitter every hour to make sure you make a post like this and comply with it. That's absolutely insane. You're giving them an ultimatum where they have to see this post and act on it within a few hours or you're going to punish them. It's completely...
Personally, I do think it's pretty cringe behavior to offer this kind of ultimatum. I wonder if Rev's going to put out any of the tweets that are like, hey, or if he's going to show any of the tweets that are like, hey, this stuff is pretty cringe, but like I'm not going to be offering an ultimatum. Rev, you're a drama VTuber, dude. Lol, you're just as terminally online as them. It's his job to be terminally online and then he'll decry other people for being terminally online. It's the typical right-wing thing. Look at this tweet with 7 likes. This is what the whole left believes. Yeah, exactly. It's what they constantly do.
Insane. You have another tweet here from a VTuber saying over 300.
Oh, they actually censored this person. This is the girlfriend of one of my Discord mods.
Mutuals following this person. I am completely and utterly disgusted. If you support this kind of behavior within the VTuber space, please do not interact with me. I want nothing to do with you. This is a VTuber model of a literal child. Again.
Rev, what? How does this imply harassment? This is saying, I don't like this shit, don't engage with me. It's just pointing to a direct reference of what they don't like. And yeah, people use literal in a figurative sense. People don't literally die from being bored. And as much as I dislike the people using literal to mean figurative, I acknowledge that people do that. I meet people where they're at. It's kind of what I do. I don't mind ultimatums like that. Some people really need to feel safe around their followers. You engage with the platform how you want to engage. I personally don't think it's very healthy to be issuing ultimatums like that regularly, but I also don't see the people that I'm used or in contact with regularly to be offering those kinds of ultimatums regularly. That was a valid use of literal. Like, it gets gray area because yes, it literally looks like a child, but it's played by an adult. It's made by an adult, so Rev can like fucking argue it's not literally a child, it's fiction. Please don't harass me. That's encouraging harassment. Yeah, that's kind of what Rev's take is. I mean, if you regularly have to issue them regularly, I want to know why you're getting such weird followers. I honestly don't know. I don't see anybody regularly issuing them.
And literal child being used. But I got news for you. If you have over 300 mutuals following Honey's account, I think that says more about you than anyone else. I
wonder if Rev's actually going to go into the issues that people were having regarding them, because like they did use different models previously. If he doesn't go into it, I will show you guys.
There's a pattern there with the kind of people that you follow that are clearly okay with this kind of content. Here's a similar post.
It's almost like there's people who play centrist fucking assholes that downplay how bad this shit can be to, let it perpetuate within the system.
Saying, tagging people I follow who follow.
Okay, yeah, this honestly I think is giga fucking cringe. Like, tagging every single mutual you to 4 likes. Wow. To tagging all your mutuals like you're following pedo bait kind of stuff. Like, yeah, it's good to let them know, but like if you're going to go out of your way to tag every single person that you're mutuals with that is following this person, you can just DM them if you're going through that much effort. Like, seriously.
Follow because F pedo baiters, and they tag all of their mutuals who are following Honey, publicly shaming them and putting them into a situation where they need to act or they're going to be
You think your last line got censored? It's not popping up in my chat as censored. Yeah, this is the wrong way to go about with dealing with this. It did, OMG. Really? Because like it's been showing me messages that are supposedly hidden and then giving me the option to like, display them or not.
Followed. Anyone who does these sort of ultimatums, that is not your friend. I am sorry to say, if someone is going to unfollow you or block you or whatever based on who you're following on social media, that is not your friend. That is a person who wants to control you. That's all it is. It's all about power. They want to make other people bend to their will, and they exploit situations like this to get a kick out of controlling people that they're supposedly friends or mutuals with.
Yeah, it was probably auto-censored or something. But like, how can you say that this looks like an adult at all? It's literally a schoolgirl uniform. She's got that tiny red backpack for Japanese children, the big head, the undeveloped proportions. Like, I just don't see how people can defend sexualization of this.
But here's another, I mean, it's been a very obvious pattern here. Literally an effing child. No, that's actually an anime character. It's not a literal child.
Rev, have you ever heard of Birdie Wings? It's an anime where people play golf. I'm pretty sure you've heard about it because it's got underage characters in it. Anyways, are they literally playing golf, or is it a depiction of playing golf? I would love to hear your answer to that one.
This person saying it's sick how people sexualize a literal child. This model is literally a child. You know, you can say literally and literal as many times as you want. It's not going to make that application of the word actually stick. You don't know what literal means. Here's another post.
And you don't know what hypocrisy means.
Saying, okay, what the actual F? I'm so concerned right now. If you support this, there's no way you don't need therapy at this point. That's a literal child. Don't insinuate lewd themes under the topic of being a kid. Major red flags. I think the only people in this scenario who need therapy are
is the person I'm responding to right now. I think that's the main person who needs therapy. Just saying.
People who can't separate fiction from reality. And also, there's not a single therapist out there that would encourage you to actively engage and spread content that apparently is so concerning to you. If you were actually bothered by this stuff, you would simply block and move on with your life instead of subjecting yourself to it and then subjecting all of your followers to it because you have to tweet about it.
First of all, it doesn't actually subject all your followers to it because, fun fact, I don't see the majority of my mutuals on my own timeline. There's actually been quite a few people that have been mutuals with this person that I knew of that were following this person because they did used to have an adult looking model last year. How can he say it isn't a child? She is so child coded it hurts. The argument he's making is that it's not literally a real child, it's just a fictional child. You guys are getting worked up over fictional pedophilia, which, I mean, it's pedophilia describes an attraction, not an action. Like, for real. I won't watch it if it's lewd, though. I'm gonna be real. There's like a difference between making generally lewd content and then just sometimes making offhand lewd jokes for creators. And like, I don't have as much an issue of somebody that uses a petite model and then makes the occasional lewd joke, but it's not like the focal point of their content. And from what I saw looking back through Honey's stuff, it was a lot of their content. It was more than half.
But here's another one saying, trigger warning, I have a few moods / people I follow that follow this person with a child model. I don't know what happened if this deranged person switched up their model, they didn't notice, but look at the comments on that specific tweet. It's disgusting. Reports. Yeah, this thing directing people to report Honey's account for what reason exactly?
It's something that's against Twitter TOS, where well, actually, I'll give Honey credit for not posting anything explicit, which would have been against Twitter TOS. But there's a lot of people that will just make that jump when you're cultivating the kind of community that likes looking at this kind of thing while they shoot fat ropes. And that just is, you know, kind of bothersome.
What reason are you reporting?
Birdie Wing didn't strike me as being ecchi, though. I think it was trying to like idealize lesbian love through teenage romance, maybe. No, I don't have anything particularly wrong with Birdie Wing. I just think there's a lot of people that, like, since Rev brought up like a character like Yoko Littner as being underage, I'm willing to bet he knows about Birdie Wing because, like, he seems to like his underage fictional content a little too much, if you ask me.
Honey, because they aren't violating any TOS. Now, we have some smart individuals like here trying to say, oh, I'm going to report, here's how I'm going to do it, by reporting them under child safety. Now, unfortunately for you, that child safety rule in the report feature is about real children. It is not about drawings, and it makes it very clear that it's not.
Yeah, you'd have to go to a different section on Twitter reporting to actually report for lolly. It's definitely not lolly bait. I was actually shocked when they were 15. I know, it's like literally like Yoko Littner from Gurren Lagann. You go have a good munchy, Thunder Nugget. Thanks for joining. It's like Yoko Littner. She looks literally like an adult, but she's 14. But then she's considered a lolly for some reason. But lolly is not about age, it's about body type. But Yoko Littner is fully developed. I've also seen people call Usagi from Sailor Moon, like Serena or whatever, as a lolly. It's like, come on. And yeah, Twitter does have a report section for illustrations of CSEM. So, like, I wouldn't qualify Honey's content, what I saw, as being able to be reported for that, but I get where people coming about. Yeah, like, just because I don't feel like browsing Twitter randomly, I'm gonna hit the report push button. Where is it? Where is it? Sensitive or disturbing media. No. Where the fuck was it? I know it's in here. Deceptive identities, no. I would think it would be insensitive or disturbing media. That is exactly what the preview showed. Like, I don't know if it's considered. Oh, literally, right here. Illustrated cartoon, computer-generated media depicting a minor engaging in sexual act or childlike sex doll. That's what you should be reporting lolly show content on Twitter as. Not like putting minors in actual danger. It's people glorifying it.
All you're doing with this report is clogging the report system, and you are genuinely hurting children because...
Wait, I wonder if he edited that out, because he has... God damn it, show Becca's tweets. I should just fucking whitelist her. Like, I wonder if Rev edited out that point where, you know, I showed this. Because, like, that's kind of the nail in the coffin for his argument, is it not?
Reports exploiting... Reports that...
Doing the fucking fingers is also sexually explicit. It's going in that direction, but I wouldn't personally constitute it as, like, sexually explicit material. I would consider that, like, full-on hentai, not just sexual jokes. It's trending in that direction, but it hasn't fully crossed the line. I would just expect them to cross that line sooner or later. It's an explicit act if done by a child. It's the finger hand motion. Like, I get why it's bad. I just don't think it's the same, or I don't think this specific joke is the same as, like, making actual hentai of that character. I think that is a far worse thing to do. But I still think it's bad that she's doing this and encouraging that kind of engagement from an audience.
That are containing tweets that are actually exploiting real children are getting put into the back burner because they have to file reports and go through reports like this that are inactionable because it's about fictional characters. You are actually hurting children by doing this. You are...
No. No. Because here's the thing. Twitter doesn't care about children. If you don't know, there was an account that posted actual CSEM on Twitter, and Elon was like, hey, let's get that guy back on Twitter. So, like, this is a non-argument, Rev.
Exploiting the report system to report something you could just block and never see again. It's absolutely disgusting behavior.
More disgusting behavior is kind of making a 20-minute long video about people you don't like and you could just block, but no, you got to get that money, you got to get that clicks off of the hating the antis, right?
But now let's return to the main thread. So you're probably wondering, okay, that's a lot of responses supporting the harassment campaign, but was there any detraction? Did people speak out against this? Well, I think this image right here captures everything, okay? At first, this call out...
I remember actually seeing what was replied to that. That was somebody saying, hey, I've already had them blocked, and then Raygats here had said based ahead of schedule as usual. I actually saw that tweet in the wild. I didn't realize it was deleted. But it does seem like Rev's not actually going to go into the past lives or the past models of this VTuber. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like he's going into it at all.
Out thread was getting a ton of support, but quickly things turn, and you can see it right here. Based ahead of schedule, tweet has been deleted. A lot of people have deleted their replies to the main thread after they started getting heat. And
so people have been getting harassed over pushing back against this kind of content? Strange. Why don't they just block and move on if they don't like those takes? Thanks for stopping in, Boink. Been fun. Yeah, come on, Rev. Why don't they just block and ignore? Why are you glorifying the hate that they got? Or are you okay with people disagreeing with people? At least I'm fucking honest about being okay about my audience disagreeing with others. I'm not a fucking coward like Rev.
And that is pretty predictable because a lot of people thought that they were not going to get any criticism for joining in on this harassment campaign. And part of the reason things shifted was, well, due to the fact I responded. So I ended up ratioing them into the shadow realm with this response saying,
a harassment campaign so broad that you can ratio it yourself, Rev. And I love that he did tweet this out. I'm so glad he is covering his own tweet in this video because, like, literally he's calling out people for what he does with his entire channel.
Have you considered blocking someone you don't like instead of throwing a public tantrum for attention? You're just self-reporting that you immediately think of children when you look at anime characters. Stop watering down the term pedophile.
Rev, what do you see when you see a character like this? Do you think that's an adult? Actually, probably does. He probably does.
To the benefit of real predators. And what would be their response to that? Well, to block me. Now, you're allowed to block me. Like, that's totally within your right. But the only way I respect your block is if you block me and then stop talking about me. Because other than that, if you're blocking someone, then you continue talking about them negatively, that's just cowardly behavior. And that's exactly what they would do, of course. So after they block...
You know what else is cowardly behavior? To just constantly shit talk people you're just constantly shit talking people, acting like you're so much smarter and better than them, but then you don't actually directly engage with them in, you know, the public marketplace of ideas. I would fucking love to talk to Rev about this subject anytime. I would totally platform him. Here's the thing. He has actually made a statement where he was responding to Xander Hall of all people, and he's not going to debate him. He doesn't want to debate. He just wants to stay in his fucking echo chamber and keep talking shit while acting like a big, strong lolly or whatever.
Blocked me. They said that community has found my post. They're now shocked that they suggested I block people who sexualize children, and I immediately blocked them. Weird how that works, isn't it? Thanks for outing yourselves, I guess. Makes it super easy. And of course, people replied to that thread with their public Twitter likes that we saw earlier in this video. But later on, they say, yeah, some 73...
Are you not going to engage with the response at all? Because that's what you've literally been doing. The fact that they're pointing the finger at you being the one sexualizing kids while looking at it is some real gaslighty shit. Like, oh my god, Zen would rip this person's shit out. Oh my god, I would kill to see Xander Hall's debate against Rev. But Rev knows he can't win. He knows he's got indefensible points. That's why he doesn't engage with people directly. It's why he only sticks to Twitter and his YouTube videos. But literally, in his tweet, in his response that he literally just showed, he was the one pointing fingers at, like, you're the one who's actually really sexualizing kids over that fucking lolly. I hate this guy.
King of Pedos found it. So
yeah, some 73K King of Pedos? No, girl, friend. He is 625,000 King of Pedos.
So they're just swarming. Not surprised. Sewer rats will always be sewer rats. So slandering me behind a block is a major coward move. But not only...
To be fair, Rev, it's not slander if we believe it's true. Slander is the willful spreading of misinformation. I believe everything I have said so far. And oh my god, I would pay all of the money. I would go into so much debt to see Xander Hall debate Rev. That would be glorious content for all time.
Not only that, if I'm the sewer rat, then I guess you're a fellow sewer rat because you consume the same kind of content that you're calling out.
We're all fucking sewer rats. We're VTubers, and the content that you called them out for having them in their likes wasn't even directly sexualizing anybody. It was just pictures of characters that you call lollies, despite making the definition of lolly so fucking broad that it's petite body types, it's not age, but it also includes minor characters who are developed. It's so fucking disgusting.
But nonetheless, a lot of people would join in on this and reply for me who weren't blocked. We have Peter Griffin here saying, Rev tried to be reasonable with you and you blocked them because you couldn't think of a counter argument. And if you block me too, you're just further proving that you're a spineless coward.
God, these people perpetuate the mentality of, if you block me, I've owned you. These guys are fucking cloudy engagement baity bullshit grifters, and they keep calling everybody else this shit. It literally feels like projection. He's pointing at everybody else saying you're doing the bad thing while he's doing the bad thing.
Ray would respond saying, have you considered blocking someone you don't like instead of throwing a public tantrum for attention? So I blocked them. I literally got what he literally got what he asked for. I don't know what point you're trying to make. Where Peter Griffin would reply saying, he also said, you're just self-reporting that you immediately think of children when you look at anime characters. Stop watering down the term pedophile to the benefit of predators. Or did you not read that part? Yeah, interesting.
Literally, you're watering down the term pedophile to benefit real predators when you're fucking saying that. Oh my god, I hate going over his shit. It's been an hour.
Interesting how they read that first part, but they don't have any response for that latter part. But moving on, a lot of people would reply and quote retweet my...
That's not a child, that's an anime character. An anime character that looks like what, Rev? How dumb can you be? You can't own me if you aren't in my life. Like what happens when I block you? Yeah, pretty much. These people, These people make the same excuse you can't point out racist characters? Really? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they, if he's talked about blackwashing characters or whatever. Okay, you have a good night, Lola. Thanks for stopping by.
Original response to the thread, trying to get a one-up. This person saying, imagine looking at this and not seeing a child. And I said, well, that's not a child. That's an anime character.
Did you literally not engage with the person you just responded to? Oh, look, follow policing. This same kind of shit you were calling out earlier in this fucking video. Come on, Rev. Can you at least not be a hypocrite like you claim to hate?
And of course, people would point out in the replies that this individual is following Henya, who of course is Pikami, who of course is a very open lolicon and has a current model that is a lolly VTuber model with a literal boob window. But they follow them, but then have a problem with people like Honey. Here's...
Okay, so I don't see Henya making the same kind of explicit sexual jokes. I also see Henya as a more developed body, so to speak. Like, I'm an adult that lives in the real world. I go outside, I touch grass. I personally know adult women with that body type. You can be petite. When you're comparing Henya to Honey, Henya looks like a petite adult. Honey looks like a 6-year-old Japanese girl. But we're the ones watering down the term pedophile for pointing out that people that beat off to the stuff like Honey are sexually attracted to depictions of children. Because, you know, pedophile totally means actually engaging in the action and not just the attraction.
There's another one, this person saying Rev Pedo Desu is still spreading the watering down lie, which it's not a lie. That's literally what you're doing by reducing terms like that to things that they're not.
Oh, look, he does his usual your likes are public shit and then just posts a picture of, hey, this person happens to like a character that just happens to be 14, but or underage or whatever. But hey, lolly is not based on fucking age. It's based on body type. And this is not sexualizing art specifically. It's of a character from an anime that has very risque outfits. Go to the beach. You'll see several adult women with Henya's body type. I've even dated a few. I haven't personally dated people. I've had 2 relationships. I'm currently in one. And I know people. I go outside. I live in the real world. There are petite people, but they look different than children. It is so frustrating to have to explain this shit. Especially because there's people with 600,000 subscribers watering down these terms.
But then, of course, I hit him with a your likes are public. They have Ryoko from Kill la Kill, who's underage. And then I don't know what happened. They got suspended. And then here's another one. I didn't even catch this one fast enough. Another account went down. They're going down like flies. This person said something along the lines of, I can't wait for the time that the police are going to find terabytes of CP on your computer. And I replied saying, besides the fact that's never going to happen, why are you excited about a scenario where children are abused?
They're not excited about the children being abused. They're excited about potential abusers getting caught, and then that stops. Why do you love to strawman people, Rev? Is it because you can't actually engage with their arguments like you claim that others can't do to you? Is it, Rev? Come on.
And I've talked about this before. There is nothing more vile in my mind than hating someone online and wanting an own on them so bad that you hope they get caught with illegal material. In that little fantasy of yours, in order for it to happen, that means that children have to be abused.
They could already be abused. Nothing we can do can actually stop that. So it's a good thing to want people who do abuse children to get caught. Why are you arguing against that? You're just mad people are calling you a pedo for beating off to depictions of children.
Obviously, if that person's actually abusing children, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and much more than that, but I can't say that on YouTube. But when the scenario hasn't happened, wishing that it would happen is insane. It's absolutely insane behavior. But moving on, I saw some other call-out threads. Someone showed me this. This is hilarious. So we've talked about this VTuber in the past. They've made a lot of misandrous comments, and they made a thread about me and VTuber Cringe. It says, broke a lot of mutuals just now who follow Rev and VTuber Cringe. Look at the way they censored my name. A full-grown adult censoring my name like I'm Voldemort or something. But
it's because your followers are fucking unhinged, but you don't seem to care. So, like, people censor in that way so that it's harder for your deranged followers to find it. I don't personally know a whole lot about this Misadere, but, like, I don't know. I don't take Rev's word for anything. He spent, like, this entire video lying about shit and watering down terms.
they go on to say, I can't be friends or mutuals with people who support these scumbags who have harmed me, my friends, and other innocent people. Sorry, not sorry. I would like to see proof that I personally harmed you.
How about shit-talking her and not hiding her name like you say is a good thing to do? Or like, are you okay with people seeing the profile pic or their names and then kind of going after them?
There's none of it. Obviously, I just read your public tweets. But anyways, I just find it very funny people like this have time to make call-out threads on people like me when they don't even have time to focus on their own content. They have quite literally spent more time thinking about me than making content.
God, that's why I'm so fucking based. Because I do both. I shit talk this idiot and I make content out of it. I'm a Giga Stacy, you know it. Man, she's got 600 followers, you fucking baby. Why do you care so much about such a tiny account? You can just say, who? And then you never have to deal with them again. But no, you're totally not throwing a public tantrum at at an account that's 100,000 times smaller than you. God, no wonder you use the model of a child. You fucking act like one.
There's literal cobwebs on their Twitch channel. That's how much time they've invested into thinking about me and not their own content. But they also say that they're going back to not opening up Twitter for a week, so I guess we'll hold you to it. We'll see if that happens. But moving on, you're probably wondering, well, what happened with this thread? What was the final results? What happened to Honey in particular? Because there was literally...
She got a fuckload of clout off of it because that's what happens with these public callouts. A lot of people will be blocking and disengaging, but then it's also promoting them in a sense, or like drawing eyes to them, and that can really boost their platform. And I'm pretty sure Honey got a lot of new followers off of this shit because, like, well, people love this kind of shit because they're fucking disgusting.
Easily hundreds of VTubers, not just regular Twitter users, VTubers dogpiling Honey over this situation. Well, what happened to her? Well, she has massively grown. Just like in other situations, like with the VTuber Rune, who was a lolly VTuber, got attacked similarly, Honey has exploded over the past 24 hours. These numbers aren't up to date. Social Blade's very slow, but you can see the results of exactly what you would expect to happen. So they've lost 47 followings, meaning that Honey no longer follows 47 people. That means that the
lolly defense force is large. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very huge part of anime culture or the anime spheres where there's a lot of people that just defend this horse shit.
Likely blocked her. It was someone that Honey was mutuals with. They saw the threads. They blocked Honey, which forces Honey to unfollow them.
I can't tell if that's actually accurate because, or if like, I don't know, because like I've been seeing a lot of people that are like, I'm unfollowing now, but then there's kind of, wait, yeah, this implies that she was also mutuals with them. That's not just specifically the people blocking her and unfollowing her. That would be lost in that, which well, the lolly defenders come in force and stand together. Giggity. I fucking hate these people. I told you this in person, but I'll say it again. If you want to beat it to lolly, it's legal where you are. You have that right, but you don't have the right to make everyone think that it's normal and okay to do. Yeah, like, I'm personally of the stance, if you're going to blast ropes to it, do it privately. Don't make it your public persona, Rev. That's where it gets very, very problematic. I don't care that much. I know there are people in my community that, you know, indulge in it, but they're not like prominently public about it. Like, I'm going to be defending this to the end of the world. Like, no, I recognize it's problematic, so I'm going to keep it private because, you know, I'm a well-adjusted adult and know that the stuff I engage with can bother other people when I'm engaging with it publicly. You can't force people to think you're not a deviant pervert, and you can't get angry if they won't leave you alone with their kids anymore when they find out. Yeah, like, you can't really get mad at people calling you a pedo for beating off to depictions of children, because, like, that's kind of what it literally is. It's the attraction. You're not actually harming any kids directly. You're just attracted to the depictions of those kids. And the attraction itself is not illegal. The action of doing that to kids very much is illegal, and for good reason. I hate these people.
That makes sense. That's probably a lot of her VTuber peers who saw the threads. But notice, on Saturday alone, and I don't think this number's even accurate, plus 521 followers. That's a net gain, by the way, not a total number of followers gained. That is the net gain. That is a huge number. And looking at her account right now, she's well over 10K. And at one point yesterday, she was around 8.5. So at the very least, she's gained around 1,600 followers.
It seems the whole thing, they wanted to be mainstream and accepted and be open about their attractions to depictions of toddlers, and that will never happen. So they vent and rage and do what Rev is doing. Yeah, it's literally it. I'm going to be going into a little more of the arguments about it right after this video, but we got like 2 minutes left.
In less than 24 hours. Round of applause to the antis and VTubers. You did it again.
Thank you.
You try to cancel a lolly VTuber and you boosted their career. Because at the end of the day, those posts made by those VTubers trying to call out Honey, all they did was impress other VTubers. That's all you did. It was just a giant circle jerk trying to impress each other by calling out Honey and using it for clout and attention among your peers. But the actual VTuber fans, or at least a good number of them, they are not offended by Honey's content, and they are not impressed by your call-out threads that are made solely for clout and to add on to the harassment campaign. And
I wouldn't say that it's the majority of VTuber fans. I think there are a lot of problematic people within the anime and VTuber scenes respectively, but I think the medium or the industries as a whole could grow even more if the broader population didn't take a look at VTubers and then saw somebody like this defending somebody like this and then jumping to the conclusion that VTubers are just pedophiles. I really don't like it. No, it's just outing all the pedophiles, haha. With all her new followers are basically waving the flag. Like, okay, thanks, I guess. Let me just contact some local schools and daycares with your picture now. It's almost like they did something for shock value to cause quick controversy in order to boost her numbers. This shit doesn't normally last. Yeah, here's the thing. Actually, I'm gonna get into it in the next minute. But like, I've got some more insight to give into this situation.
They found this account because of these call out posts, and they have now followed Honey, increasing their follower count immensely. And of course, the purpose of today's video is to talk about Honey and also encourage you guys to go check out her content. I will leave a link.
Can't do quoted all caps? That's fucking stupid.
To her Twitter account. Check that out. Check out her Twitch account as well. Give a follow. Leave a nice comment, by the way. Do something like that. That's always nice to see, to drown out some of the negativity. And I hope Honey the best. I'm sorry they had to go through this harassment campaign. Sadly, it's nothing new in the VTubing scene. It's becoming way too common. And
that makes me feel better. It's pretty common that people are pushing back against lolicon. Good. Oh, it's quoted anything? I don't know what's wrong with fucking YouTube chat.
I will tell you this as I'm leaving. If you're a VTuber or even just a regular Twitter user, if anyone puts you in an ultimatum situation where they're going to block you or no longer be friends with you because of someone you follow, that is not a friend. In fact, that is a sign that probably you should move on from them, because that's just controlling and weird behavior. But that's going to do it for this video. I know it was a lot, so please share all of your thoughts about today's topic.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be showing all my thoughts. I'm going to be sharing some more thoughts, and it's not going to be in your comments, because I don't want to give you any more engagement than I already have just by watching your fucking video. Anyways, the reason why this really, really blew up within the small VTuber scene is because there were so many of us that have mutuals with this person. And, oh, for fuck's sake, she's at 14K now. Anyways, I'm only at like 60 mutuals that follow her, at least. But there were a lot of people that were going, I didn't know. She rebranded. I followed her when she used an adult model. And personally, given how much I've seen my own mutuals shown up on Twitter, I can sort of understand that. What really doesn't sell it for me is that, well, this is the model she used to use. This I would consider a short stack. Personally, I don't have that much of an issue with this design. Big fucking whoop. This was posted back in February 2nd of this year. And then let me just pull up real quick. They did a debut of their next. Her following growing doesn't sell it. Haha. She'd have lost way more if it was a model change. Yeah, she has tits. I'll allow it. Like, yeah, like, that's a short stack for that first model. This next model, which was shown off in March 26th, where she started going full on lolly design, lolly look, which, I mean, this is what she started using at the end of March of this year. So, like, it's kind of hard for me to be like, well, obviously you didn't know, because, you know, you've had, what, fucking 6 months to see her pop up on your timeline, to see her stuff pop up. Because, like, here's the thing. Yeah, she was using this model previously, and it does look like an adult. Or at least it looks more like an adult than her other stuff. But fucking March of this. And also, she's always been a lolly artist. Even when she was using this model, she was drawing lolly art. She's always been public that her Oshi is Gargura. Or at least one of her Oshis is Gargura. Let's see. There was another redesign. or there was like an alternate version to that second model. But then we've all seen her third model at this point. That second model is definitely going down the road of lolly. Oh, I'm showing you the safest stuff because no, it's 100% lolly. Like, she's got an off the shoulder picture where like the jacket is coming down a bit. Nothing is actually being shown, but you can tell she got rid of the chest. Like, she flat as a washboard kind of thing. And like, she's been using this for half a year, and she's always posted the lolly art. It's kind of hard for me to really believe that people didn't know. And I really don't feel like going through a full call out of all the different mutuals I have that follow them. But for my mutuals that do follow her, there's a handful of you that have condemned, or that did follow her. There's a handful of you that condemned her for being called out for this rebranding, despite it not being like a wildly different rebrand since her previous model. It was more wild from her first, but here's the thing. A lot of people I've seen, like the bigger small VTubers, so to speak, like 10K followings and stuff, they were posting like, I didn't know, I don't like engaging with that kind of stuff. But then I've also seen them engage directly with other lolly creators. They just haven't been, those lolly creators just hadn't been called out. So like, there's a lot of people that I'm getting the impression they're just trying to save face in the wake of this public call out. And it's like, why you gotta act like this has been some recent redesign that totally caught you off guard and it's like wildly different? It's like, I don't fully believe you. I can believe some, but the sheer number of people that have just been like, I've been following her, I didn't realize, that kind of shit, it just screams sus to me. Oh, Becca, yeah, you're probably not going to get more mutuals on there. I've actually seen the number of my mutuals drop that are following her. So I guess that's good. Can I get back to talking about fun topics? I followed her an hour back. She was buried in my timeline. I thought I unfollowed her 3 months ago. That I can totally understand. Also, Freya, just FYI, if you pick the topics, Briley. Yeah, I know. But I also have to keep in mind what's currently being talked about within the VTuber scene, and talking about Rev is, well, I'm clout sharking off of Rev. I'm not hiding that part. I don't like Rev. I'm trying to shark his centrist viewers. I just became trans. Do you support? I support my trans friends. Self-ID, yo. Let's talk about how we're going to be wrestling. I mean, we could totally do that. It's just the audience I've built up so far is interested in topics relating to VTubers. Oh crap, I'm on my creator account. Yeah. Like, you didn't recognize? I don't fully blame you for that one. I'm getting so tired. Oh yeah, that was a topic. I know, but I bet they want to hear about you suplexing bitches. Oh yeah, like a lot of my audience is fucking bottoms. They want to know that their mistress is strong and can dominate them. What honestly, I find it kind of funny. I have mistress in my handle, but then I don't really have a lot of people that are playing into the needing their mistress kind of stuff, needing their mommy things. It's just the kind of community I've been cultivating. That's just how I do. I was thinking you should come up with wrestling gear for your model. No, I can't really load up Koikatsu right now, but I have a kind of idea. I will. Hero, you say that, but then you also forget that I know you. I should load up Koikatsu because I do have an idea for like a wrestler model or outfit for my VTuber. But I mean, it might be subject to change. Shut up? No. It's my stream. I talk about what I want, and apparently I want to talk about fucking lolicon. Okay, now to not watch a Rev video for like another 6 months. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and if you want to join the community, feel free to check out the Discord. I love to voice chat in there, so if you want to ever talk, I'm usually available. Well, in the afternoons.